story about going to the pool with our mommy. Today, we are going to do a thinking routine called Option Explosion. And Miss Terry wants to know, if you went to the pool with mommy like we read the story yesterday, what if you got there and the pool did not have any water in it? I will call your name and you answer. Isabella, if you got to the pool and there was no water in the pool, what if there was no water in the pool? How could you put water in the pool?
I go with my mommy.
You go with your mommy and do what? How would you put the water in the pool to fill up the pool?
I swim with my mommy.
Okay. Mia? Mia, how would you put water in the pool? What if this pool had no water in it? You're going to wait till it
rains.
She's going to wait till it rains. And will the rain maybe fill up the pool with water?
Yeah.
Okay, Tristan, everyone think. Stop for a minute, Mikey. Think, think, think. Everybody think. We stop, we blink, we think, think, think. I'll come back to you, Isabella, okay, if you're still thinking, okay? Tristan, how would you put water in the pool? What if that pool did not have water in it? Mia's going to wait till it rains. She's going to wait. And Isabella's going to have her mommy help her. You're going to take a what?
A balloon.
A balloon. He's going to take a balloon and do what with it?
Put it in the pool.
You're going to put it in the pool with what? How do you get water into the balloon? How would you do that? Oh, in the sink. Excellent, Tristan. So you would, tell me how you would do that. You take the balloon and put it on and you put water in it from the sink. And then how would you get it in the pool? How would you get that balloon water into the pool? Okay, you would turn it over, roll it in. Well done.
How about you poke a hole and then...
You could poke a hole. That's another idea. You made a connection. If we poke a hole, all the water's going to come out.
And if you pop the balloon, water will come out.
There's another way. If she pops the balloon, that water would come out. Excellent. Maya, if there was no water in the pool and you wanted to go swimming, how would you put water in the pool?
I can go to the bathroom and put water there.
You would put water from the bathroom?
And I can get a bucket, I can put it there.
What a connection you make. You take a bucket and put it where? Where would you put the bucket?
In the sand, in the water.
In the water. Where would you get water from?
In the sink.
From the sink. Michael, there's no water in the pool. What if you went to the pool and you were ready to dive in and you said, "Oh, Mommy, there's no water in the pool." What idea could you come up with that would help us put water in the pool?
My daddy go get water and sink, and he go get juice in it.
He could put what?
Water in it.
And what is that you're showing me? You'll put water in what? What is that?
A water goes to the pool. I can swim pretty good, but I can swim.
Okay, but where would you get the water from? What would you put the water in to put in the pool?
A bottle of water.
A bottle of water. So you would take a bottle of water and how? Show me how you would put it in the pool, Michael. Show me how. How would you
put
it?
Put it in the sink.
Okay, and then would you just throw it in the pool?
No.
Show me how you would. Show me. You would pour it into the pool. Well done. Victoria, if there was no water in the pool and Victoria says, "Mommy, there's no water in the pool," where could you get water? The refrigerator and get agua and
that can be nice.
Isabella, you said how would you put water in the pool? Mia said.
No, my dog just let me.
With what? What would you use to put water in the pool? With a cup? Okay. You would use a cup to put water in the pool. Excellent. Okay, now, one more thing. what if we didn't have water and there was no way to put water in the pool? Wait a minute, I'll ask you. Where could you go? Wait till I call you because you're all going to answer. Think, think, think. Where could you go that there's water? Victoria Fonseca? Where could you go if you couldn't go in the pool and there was no water? Where's somewhere that has water?
In the sink.
You would play in the sink? Okay, Michael, where would you go? Wait a minute, Mike.
I can go to the piscina and play with my toys there.
You could play with your toys there. Yes, you could. Michael, where could you go that you could swim?
Mama, it's hurting me. You can go to the pool and it has water.
Where?
To the pool and it has water.
Okay, but there's no water in the pool today. Where else could you go? Where do you go to swim if there's no pool in the water? No water in the pool?
You can go to the hot tub.
A hot tub. Wow.
And
You made a connection because a hot tub has water in it.
And I'll go to my piscina and the rain. Yesterday raining, then we can go outside.
That's right. Okay, now I need Tristan to give me an answer, okay? Thank you for being a good listener. Tristan, can you please tell me where you could go swimming if there was no water in the pool?
The water park.
A water park.
I can go to the water park.
Yes.
And the water slide.
Mia, where could you go if there was...
I can go to the water park and I want to.
And you can be a good listener for me right now, right? Thank you.
And a water slide. It's a beaches.
Go ahead, where?
I got family in the doctor. I got baby in my doctor. Pour some water in a cup and then fill up the pool.
Okay, that's how you could fill up the pool. But if the pool wasn't working at all and we couldn't put any water in it today, is there a place that you could swim somewhere else?
It's around big.
Can you think about it? Where else could you go swimming?
You can swim
At
your bathtub.
Oh, that is great. I can fill up my bathtub and I can go underwater, blow bubbles, and pretend like it's a pool, right?
Yeah, I can go there.
Okay, one more. Isabella, where could you go swimming? Where do you go swimming with mommy and daddy if you don't go to a pool?
Like that, and I can put my eyes.
To the beach. Well done.
I can go to the beach. I can put my eyes there and my nose there.
Okay, crisscross applesauce. I spy Isabella cooperating. I spy Mia, good listener. Tristan, can you come up here, please? I spy Tristan respecting. I spy Maya cooperating. I spy Michael collaborating with all his friends, and I spy. Tristan, a la mesa, por favor. A la mesa, por favor. You have to make something with the Play-Doh, then you can go to the computer. Michael, a la mesa, please. Mia's being a good listener. Isabella. Oh, I love good manners, good listening. Okay, now I'm going to give you some Play-Doh, and let's see who remembers what Miss Terry wrote down on here. Let's do this again. Think, think, think. Everybody think. We stop.
Everything and think.
Thank you. Now we have to really think. Tristan, how would you fill up the pool? Because I'm going to give you Play-Doh. What would you use to fill up the pool? Let's see if Tristan remembers. What?
Play-Doh's like a marshmallow.
Okay, make the water balloon. Victoria Fonseca, you said you would go to what to get water? Think, think, think. Okay, make me a sink. Michael, what would you put water in? Remember what you told me? I wrote it right here.
A sink.
Okay, you said a sink and something else. What would you use?
A balloon.
What would you pour water into? You said a water what?
A water bottle.
A water bottle. Can you make me a water bottle? And Maya, you said, what did you say where you would?
I can go to the water park.
Okay, make me a water park. That's what you would go to. And
I make
Mia,
a water bottle.
what are you gonna wait for
I can
to
make
fill up the pool?
Wait for it to rain.
Wait for it to rain. Okay, make me some rain,
A
please.
marshmallow.
And Isabella, what did you say? You're going to use a what to fill up the pool? Let's see if Isabella can remember. Think.
Yeah, I know my mom in the pool.
Okay, can you make me a pool? Okay. Look at his water bottle. Let's look here. Tell me, what shape is that? What does that look like? Describe that to me. This is your water bottle, but what shape would you say that is?
An oval.
An oval, well done. Let me look at, what did you make?
A water park.
You made a water park? Okay, what shape is your water park?
A rectangle.
A rectangle. Mia, can you tell me about your?
Making the rain.
You're making the rain. And what shape would you say the rain is? Because this is the form key. Can you tell me what shape?
Circle and triangles and rectangle.
So you have many shapes. A circle, a rectangle, a triangle. Wow. Can you tell me what you're making, Isabel? You're making water. What shape is your water for the form key?
Circle.
And where did you say you could go to play in the water?
With my mom.
With your mom where?
In the pool.
In the pool. Okay, you made a connection. There's water in the pool. Alexander, where would you find water if there was no water in a pool? Where could you find water?
In my sink.
In your sink. Can you make me a sink, please? Tristan, what did you make me?
A balloon.
And what shape? The form key tells us the shape of something. Can you tell me what shape that is? What shape is it?
A circle.
It's a circle, and it also looks like a what? You just were going to say that because you made a connection. It's a circle, but it's also a balloon, okay? Or what else?
Ball.
A ball. You made a connection. Victoria, can you tell me what you're making? She's making a sink. There's water that comes out of the sink. What shape is your sink for the form key? A rectangle. Okay, we've all been such good listeners. Think carefully. Can you tell me what Mia said she would get water from?
Rain.
Rain. Excellent. Tristan, do you remember what Michael said that he would use to put water in the pool with?
A water bottle.
Wow, amazing. Isabella, can you remember what Maya said?
A water park.
Okay, she would go to the water park, but remember she said something else? That in her house she would fill up the water? With what?
You like mine now?
What's in the bathroom that she said she would fill up the water with?
I'm making it a
In the what?
sink.
The sink, you remembered. Mia,
Look
can
what
you?
I made. I made a mermaid that way.
You made a mermaid. Where does a mermaid go? On the street?
In
In the park? In the water, and we're talking about water. Well done. Okay, now let me ask you something. If you got to pick, Tristan, remember Maya? He said he was going to fill up what to fill up the pool? Try to pick a balloon. Wow, Alexander. A balloon. Okay, can you each take your Play-Doh and make one thing that you would bring to the pool? Shh, wait till I ask you. What would you bring to the pool, Mia?
I bring my Ariel.
You bring your Ariel. You made the mermaid. And you? A ball?
I can make my soccer ball.
A soccer ball you bring to the pool. What would you bring to the pool? What do we wear to the pool? Think. A bathing suit. We don't wear a winter coat?
No. Life jacket.
A life jacket helps us what?
And we got a water.
What does a life jacket do? Do you know the function of a life jacket?
Look what I made.
Do you know the function of a life jacket?
And
What would you use a life jacket for? Said a life jacket. What do we use that for?
And you're cold.
So you're not cold? You could use it for that.
Terry, you cover your eye.
What is that called that you would cover your
Goggles.
eyes?
Sunglasses.
Goggles and sunglasses for the sun.
Two goggles.
Well done. Well, Goofy says he spied all of you today and all of my children back here doing puzzles and even at the computer, Dylan. I am so proud of you, good listeners. Thank you so much. My objective for the thinking routine that I used, Option Explosion, was for children to build on their speaking and vocabulary. I wanted them to come up with their own ideas to a problem, come up with a solution, have many different ideas, listen to all their different peers and their different views. What I wanted was for them to not only come up with one idea, which was how to fill up a pool, but where they could go if they weren't able to swim in the pool. What I love about these thinking routines is I had in mind that the children were going to go back to the table and try to remember what they had told me, which is helping with memory. But after I did it, the owner, Anna Maria Fernandez, said to me, why don't you try asking them what their friends and their peers said and see if they can remember. And I was totally flabbergasted that when I asked each of the children, they not only were able to retain and remember what they had said for the option explosion, but what their peers had done. So I thought it was a wonderful activity, getting the children to retain the memory and come up with different ideas other than what their peers had said. The thinking routine ended up going a little bit longer than what I wanted. So now I will go back into the class after the children have played outside and got to get up and run around, and I'm going to ask them what we have learned. Really, I want them to think back and reflect on what they had learned and what the different options were, so that we know now if that we have an activity planned and it doesn't work out, there are other options.
It's education first.